know how yet. My body hasn't figured that one out yet. We're on our way back home, so I figure I'd come on and just chit chat a little bit. See how everybody's doing. Check in. We finished. As my mother has said, people are not done, they're finished. They get finished. Wait, I gotta turn the volume down on the car. Tired, sore, and my help was to sit on a chair and be able to vacuum. That's about all. And then I had to take breaks. But at one point when I got up, I decided to trip over the vacuum cord. Let me just tell you, my back is not a happy camper. So we went to get a bite to eat, and I have my medicine with me, so I took some of my medication, and we'll see how bad the pain is going to get in the next little bit. I didn't wait, which is good when you're dealing with pain. If you can, take whatever medication you're taking, take a Tylenol. Don't wait for it to get to the point where it takes hours for it to come back down, especially if you're a fibromyalgia patient. So I am sore and my back hurts, so I'm gonna go home and rest. That darn cord, I tripped over it and my back went one way and my body went another way, and my back's like, no. So we'll see. But I'm going to go home and rest by order of my daughter, who was very thankful. She treated us to some ice cream and a little ice cream shop by her house, and that was the treat. And it was just nice. On the way back to her house, we jammed to some music and laughed, and she just thanked us over and over again. It's not fun cleaning without help. So I did what I could, just sitting and taking breaks and just kind of being some moral support. I had the music going, and that was where I was able to help. Oh boy. So anyway, we're done. And she is going live to my other's keeper tonight at 6 o'clock. So she's going to be talking. It's 6 p.m. and I think it's Central Standard Time, because she's in Canada. So she will be going on with Kim talking about depression. So please go over there and support her. Depression is certainly a real thing. And I will be also working with finding a time slot to go on the lifeboat and filling in a time slot there. So I had to figure that out. I'm really excited, y'all. I'm telling you, I got to practice with that one. I'm excited to be able to do that. I had a lot of people tell me, you got this. We like your content. We like you. You're going to do great. Boy, but I'll figure out a time slot and let Spanx know about that. And I know I have a lot of support. And there is my other's keeper. Please go like her channel and be there. It's 6 p.m. Central Time, and which means 8 p.m. Eastern Time because of the time change. My daughter will be on with Kim. I'm one of the mods, so I'll be there for sure, watching her, and as she talks about it. It is a struggle, and a lot of people deal with depression as long as they're on the right kind of medication, if need be. Then they can live a very full life. There's with not having issues and struggles, and connection and support are so valuable. And I am so proud of my daughter. Let me just tell you, I'm just so proud that she's talking about things like autism and depression and diabetes, things that she has struggled with. it's such a powerful tool if you can talk about them, because other people are struggling with them. Other people are dealing with them. Other people are, they're having the same kind of stuff. And if we can connect and we can learn, even if you're not struggling with it yourself, you may know somebody that's struggling with depression. And let's, educate ourselves so we know how to approach that. And we know how to help them. I know for me, when I was raising my daughter, I didn't want anybody to try to understand how, what it was like to raise an autistic individual. I didn't know if I had the energy at the time to explain it. I do now. And I would have been glad to sit with anybody and explain it. But there was a lot of times where all I wanted somebody to do was just come beside me. And I was so thankful for my mom and my husband. Just come beside me. Just be there. I'm not doing this battle and this struggle alone. And that means the world. And a lot of our lives, we're just trying to get through it. But, we don't have to do it by ourselves. We're all struggling with something. Every solitary one of us. And it will be something I'm going to just keep hammering in. Connection, 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 connection. It is something I don't plan to live without my life ever again. And I have friends now that won't let me just just escape in that corner. And my mom was so funny this morning. She's like, I don't think I could have talked for an hour. She said, you've got your dad's talent. She said, you talked just came right out with no problem. And she said, you just talked and connected. And she said, you're just like your dad. Never met a stranger and just came out and connected. And she said, just talked. And she said, boy, I couldn't have done that if I tried. So I guess I'm supposed to do this thing. But anyway, the sun's going down. It's about 6:41. I'm telling you what, I'm going to go home and collapse. And so forth. So, and another topic I think I'd like to address is trigger words. I really appreciate, from a good standpoint, that I can go on the light boat and they're not using cuss words. For me, there's a trigger behind it sometimes. And so if we don't always realize that. And I think that if we have friends that we care about and they say to you, listen, that is triggering for me, we need to realize that there's probably a reason behind it. They may not want to tell you why. And I certainly will go into that. But we need to be honoring and loving to them and say, okay, I understand that's triggering and I'm going to refrain from doing that. And that can involve trigger words. It could involve, maybe they're trying to quit smoking. So maybe lighting a cigarette around them maybe isn't easy for them. So maybe you need to do it where they're not seeing it and they're not smelling it. Hi, Rhonda. Boy, I got you when you woke up and now you're going back to watching in bed. You're going to sleep. A full day, right? But we need to be aware of that. If there's somebody that's recovering from alcoholism, maybe not drinking around them and doing things. If we care enough about them, and we care about their friendship and we care about them as a person and we want them to be successful, we need to be aware of those things that are triggering and not necessarily walk on eggshells, but we need to be loving. We may sit there and go, we don't quite understand why. It may not make sense to our head. It doesn't have to make sense to our head. It needs to make sense to them. Hi, Maritza. So anyway, that's my little spiel. But I will be doing something about trigger words and just triggers itself. And I think that if you have a friend that's telling you that, you need to listen up. They're doing it for a reason. I appreciate it. I do go on channels and there are channels that do it, and that's fine. But it's sometimes I can tolerate it, sometimes I can't. And there's reasons behind it, but we'll go into that. It's not going to be this week. I can't unpack anything this week. chat with friends, absolutely. Chat with friends, the best way to pass the day. My daughter's like, this was so much more fun doing it, even if, Mom, you couldn't do a lot. So much more fun just sitting there and doing it with, you know, my mom and my grandmother and doing it together versus being by myself and trying to do this. Mom? So, anyway, but we're tuckered. We are tuckered. And we have to stop by Walmart for those filters too. Unless you want to stop by tomorrow. We have water filters. Hi, Mischief Minute. How you doing? I wished you happy birthday on your birthday. I wished you happy birthday today again. So have you not had enough birthdays? That'll last you all year, right? Are you celebrating your 29th birthday again? I know I am. My birthday's in June. And we're going to rock it out. I'll tell you that. We're going to have a party. For sure. Of course, I celebrate my 29th birthday about 3,000 times, but that's what I do. I just...
Friday or Thursday.
We can do Thursday if you want to go get them, but they're only going to hold them for 4 days.
Oh, when did they arrive?
I put them in the order for Sunday, so they're only going to hold them till Wednesday. So if you want to go pick them up Wednesday, that's fine. Give me just a minute.
Well, we don't have to decide this minute, but
No.
tomorrow we got that trip up to Medina.
Yeah. So anyway, we have water filters and that we have to go pick up. We don't have to go in the store because I'm way too tired to go in the store. I went into Walmart when we were up by Christina's, and when you start hitting 50, you'll start going backwards to 48. My grandmother, and I'll tell you the other part that I was going to say. My grandmother used to say this. She used to tell people that she was older than she was, like 5 years older. And people said, oh, you look so good for your age. And then when she got older, she told them she was younger by 5 years. And
No, it's the opposite. She was younger.
when she was younger, she told them when she was older. And then when she was older,
she got to be like in her 60s and 70s. She would tell them if she was 70, she'd say she was 75.
Oh.
And then they would say, oh my goodness, you look amazing for 75.
I always thought it was the opposite. I thought when she was younger, she told them that she was older, and then vice versa.
Yeah.
Anyway, I ain't doing what my grandmother did. I just say I'm celebrating my 29th. But there was a cutest shirt. Of course, they didn't have the one I wanted in my size. But the cutest shirt in Walmart, and on the back it said, I was rescued. I forgot what it said totally, but it talked about, God has rescued us, and the fact that they had dogs on it was adorable. I should have taken a picture of it, but it was adorable. I got it for Christina. And then there was another shirt there that had something on it. My mother-in-law loves swans, so I picked that up for her Mother's Day. So I got some Mother's Day gift done anyway from my mother-in-law. But so I really appreciate everybody's patience. We're going to get back to things as time happens. Anybody that has any content that they would like me to talk about, talk about it. Put it in the Lighthouse Beacons. Shoot me an email. I'll be glad to talk about it. I also messaged SPTV Never Ends, Never Ends. Hi, Autumn, and I told her I'd be glad to come on and give an interview to her about my story. So hopefully that'll happen. I'm at 365 subs, so that was great. I did a yarn YouTube short. It's got like 3.3K. I may wind up to be close to Mocha here. She's got 2 of them that are almost 10K views. The little superstar of a dog. We love her though. We're thankful for her. So anyway, there was the ice cream place. There was this beautiful basset hound. Oh, it was a beautiful, beautiful dog. And Christina had to go, of course, go over and pet it. Absolutely. So we'll see. I do not know. Yes, it is. It is a beautiful day here in Ohio. Rhonda says, I honestly can't believe I'm 58 in a couple weeks ago. We have those years gone, going backwards after 60. I agree.
Just wait till you're staring 80 in the face.
My mom says, wait till you're staring 80 in the face. We're going over train tracks. It is a beautiful day. It really is. This is a countryside, rural part of Ohio. A lot of farmland.
Yeah, big corn here pretty soon.
Yep, there'll be corn.
In a few months.
Ohio has got some sweet, sweet corn, that's for sure. But beautiful countryside. You know, when we used to come to Ohio to visit, my mom and I used to come up, I always felt like Ohio was home. But my mom was raised in Ohio. She was born in Scotland. She came over here to this country when she was 4 months old and landed in Mansfield, Ohio. And that's where she was raised. And I always felt every time we came and visited my namesake that I was, for some reason, I was home every time. So Ohio has always felt home. And I don't know. I've always felt like it's home, and I was born in, you know, Fort Lauderdale and Coconut Creek, Coral Springs were busy cities. Nothing like this. But my husband's like, you've always inside, I guess, been a country girl. Mischief Managed says, I keep going backwards long enough, and I can make it into the only good category. Oh boy, I'm not telling you how old I am gonna come up, but we're gonna have a birthday party. And I have my birthday in June. We'll have a birthday party, that's for sure. But I have to figure out what time slot I want to take on the lifeboat. I don't know yet. It's going to be evening. I don't think I want to try for morning. And I have to figure out what time slot I want to go in for. So that's, I'm going to respond to that email today. Oh, there's some horses. Can you see them right there? Beautiful, beautiful horses, y'all. Gorgeous. Beautiful horses. What time slot I'm going to go in for the lifeboat, I don't know yet. I need to figure that out. Because then I've got to commit to it, and that's fine. I will gladly do it. I will give back because the lifeboat has given me so much. So I've got to figure out a time, but I will respond and just say, give me a couple days to figure it out, and I will let you know. And if there's a Pacific one you need me to fill, I'm, you know, and I'm giving you one, and somebody else isn't as flexible as I am because I don't work outside the house, then let me know. I do. I agree. I think the idea is great. I know Tommy was going to try to do it. That's what his ultimate goal was. And I think that we can learn a lot from a lot of people. And, you know, there's people on the boat dealing with fibromyalgia. And so somebody that's coming on to deal with it and knows what it feels like when you go to bed and you hurt and you wake up and you hurt. And you hurt when you're sitting and you hurt when you're moving. And they understand that it's not all in your head. And what works for me is not going to work for everybody else. But it is so, I think it's nice to have somebody that can understand. And not only that, help people that are on the boat that may be dealing with somebody who has fibromyalgia, a family member, to help them, you know, deal with it. My mom sees it. She sees it in me. She says sometimes it's just so hard to see you in pain. You're my daughter, and I don't want to see you hurting. And she said, I see you hurting. And she said, sometimes it's really hard for me to see it and know what you're going through. And she goes, and my husband too. There's a lot of times he can't do anything but just be there to hold my hand, and that's really hard. I hope the highway is, well, this is not a highway, it's a byway. It's still traffic, and I don't like it, but it's not bad. Boy, that sun. Whew. So, my lives the past couple of days have been choppy, to say the least. But listen, I'm just turning on the lighthouse. That's all we're doing. We're turning on the lighthouse. Yes, somebody that understands helps. Absolutely. It does. I mean, my mom, if she's brave enough to ever come on, I'm sure she will. I'd like to have her on from time to time. I would like to have her talk about, having a family member and dealing with that and watching that, and, having to love somebody with fibromyalgia, because it's really hard to not only that, but ask for help. I really struggle asking for help. And it's like, I want to do, and my body won't allow me to do. And it's like, I don't want to bother you. I don't want to ask for help. Yep, Mischief Man says, I really like the different creators helping me understand things that I don't deal with myself. Absolutely. And, how do you push through it? How do you get through it? What do you do when you're thrown, in the fibromyalgia world, there's 3 different medications. They will give you Lyrica, they will give you Cymbalta, and they will give you gabapentin. And they won't give you Cymbalta or Lyrica together. They'll give you one or the other. I can't take either. I took Cymbalta, I was allergic. I cannot take Cymbalta, so that means I can't touch Lyrica. Gabapentin within one pill made me unalive. Didn't make me, but it wanted me. I wanted to unalive myself within one pill of gabapentin. So I can't touch gabapentin with a 10-foot pole. Won't touch it. Won't have anything to do with it. And so when you're faced with that, when you're said, okay, there's 3 pills. That's all we can do. What do you do? And I'm on the side of having my medication. That's my pain medicine. I'm not an addict. I'm dependent. And there's a lot of people on the boat that if they're taking a pain medicine to help them and it's working, it's not the norm of the pain management doctors. They'll tell you that. It's not the norm. It doesn't matter. It works for me. At least it makes my pain manageable. It helps me to move a little bit. And I don't know what I would do without it, but I'm dependent on it. I'm not an addict. There's a difference. You shouldn't feel guilty if you're having to take that medication, because of it. But what irritates me to some degrees, we have a friend of ours who takes her medication responsibly, just like me. She writes it all down. Mom, are you okay? She's fine. She's just making me a little nervous. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, and she had a doctor who told her if she didn't do this procedure that she had done once before, that made it worse and made the pain worse, this was the last medication he was going to fill for her. Don't come back to me. Don't see me. I'm not filling any more medication for you. Now, she's a kind of person that is also dealing with a mental illness. And so she didn't have the fortitude to be able to fight that very easily. She didn't know what she was going to do. So she went down on her medication and she was hurting. But the doctor was not going to see her nor fill it if she did a procedure that was going to make her pain worse, because she did it before and it made her pain worse. Now that burns my biscuits just a little bit. As with many things, it seems like fibromyalgia suddenly more prevalent. I wonder what's causing it. There's such a thing when I was a kid. You know, I think that I think people may have had it. It's like, you know, it was a doctor that said to us, you know, if you could take Christina and just let her be on a farm and just let her go running around, you'd have no problems with her. You'd have problems, but you would, a lot of the issues with the ADHD and the autism and everything would not be as prevalent as it is if she could just be on a farm and go running around and do all the things. And I think back then when they had the farms and they were just letting the kids run around, and yeah, he should be fired. Let them run around and just talk and all that, you know, just have fun and explore and do all that kind of stuff. Hi, Kristen. Do all that kind of stuff. It made a difference in their attention deficit, their ADHD, maybe some of their outbursts and all that kind of stuff. It was a different world. So maybe people were dealing with it and they didn't know what it was. And that's like they are doing today. And I think that may be the difference. I think, you know, may have been people were dealing with it and they didn't quite know how to deal with it. Just like ADHD and autism. It's a very different world today. But he should be. But I think I can do a lot of discussions, hopefully. Maybe bring some of the discussions that I've brought from my channel on about like breaking the tapes, connection, you know, having each other's back, you know, different things. So, yeah, I really do believe that, you know, if I had my daughter on a farm where she had animals and horses and, you know, just could run around and didn't have to sit in a school for 8 hours a day, I think I'd had a very different kid. But, you know, she had to go to school and she had to sit and pay attention and do things, and so it was very different. But fibromyalgia is manageable if you take certain steps to make sure you're managing it correctly. Pay attention to your body, you know, listen to your body, put tools in your toolbox, get doctors that know what they're talking about, get caring doctors. I have a wonderful pain management doctor. I love him to death. He is wonderful. Couldn't say enough about him. He is just amazing. And there's not enough pain management doctors out there that are like that. There are some that are just sticklers and they're going to do this and they won't think outside the box, and this isn't common for fibromyalgia, so forget it, we're not going to do this, and forget it. My mom's met him. He is the sweetest doctor.
Yes.
I would travel, if we lived an hour away, I would be traveling to see him just for my appointments. He is amazing, and you've got to go hunt for them doctors. You've got to find them. Yep, I believe it. They can do this homeschool kids can do the same work in half the time. I absolutely agree with it. Absolutely. We tried to homeschool Christina and it just didn't work. We found a school that worked for Christina, but it took a long time to get there. But it was just taking the time to do it, and finding it, and finding the right school, and finding the right teachers that understood her, and all that kind of stuff, all that kind of jabber. And hi, Sandy. So, anyway, but I 100% agree. Time for bed yet? We'll see what I'm like when I get out of this car. It's not going to be fun. The minute I tripped over that dang on vacuum cord, I could just feel, oh boy. My back is not going to be happy. And I've already had some friends tell me, you need to go rest and take it easy, and we're praying for you. I told my husband, I was like, I think I messed up. He said, do you need to go to the hospital? I said, no, I don't need to go to the hospital, but I'm just telling you, it's sore and it hurts. It's my left side. And I just tripped right over it. So, you homeschooled your kids for a year and caught up, home for a year, and they caught up 3 years in math. Well, mischief managed, that's amazing. My husband tried. When my husband, let me just tell you, Josh was one of those kids that would have benefited from having a lot of hands-on stuff. Books was not his friend. And hi, Ann Hummingbird. How are you? He was very intelligent. He used to sleep through most of his classes and then get A's on his test when people didn't think he was listening. He went and got his GED. He got a perfect score on his GED in the state of Ohio. He went, he actually was going to go into the military, and they tested him, and they, hi, full of hope. Thank you for the thumbs. They tested him on the Navy test, and he ranked so high they wanted him to be a nuclear sub, or not a nuclear engineer on a nuclear sub. Let's just tell you, my husband is extremely intelligent, and he was not certainly really. He wasn't done right in school. If he could have had a lot more hands-on, he wasn't the kid that needed to be sitting reading a book. He needed to be hands-on stuff. Put him under a car, he'll know and have the picture of the car in his head. Extremely intelligent guy. Thank you. Extremely intelligent. I'm going someplace with this, but I'm tired. I'm forgetting where I'm going with this. Oh, yes. When we were dating, my dad did not, think he was, he knew he was smart, but he didn't really quite understand how intelligent he was. And that doesn't mean anything. Intelligence is all in the mind. And my husband will say, I talk like I'm not intelligent because that's the way I want to be. I don't want people to think I'm too bright. And anyway, well, tell him thank you for his service, Mischief Manage. And he was sitting there half asleep. Listen, I don't understand algebra. I never will. But I was trying to get through college to do my degree in hospitality management. Well, he was sitting on the couch, and it was online algebra. You didn't need algebra for hospitality management. I'm sorry, you didn't need it. It was just one of the courses you had to kind of get through. And he was sitting there, and I was reading him the questions, and he was giving me the answers, half asleep. And my dad was sitting on the other side of the table with his mouth dropping. And he went back to my husband and he said, Josh, I'm really sorry. I thought you weren't too bright. But he said, for you to sit there half asleep doing algebra problems, he said, absolutely floored me. And he said he just couldn't believe it. He was sitting there just rattling off half asleep. But when Christina was doing math at home, and she took about 1.5 years, and we did like online high school or middle school, whatever you want to call it. When the math started to get too challenging for my husband, that's where we're like, okay, that was it. We were like, forget it. And she went to her last year, the last half of 8th grade, all the way through to high school, best school for individuals like her, and she absolutely flourished. She met some amazing friends. She was, absolutely. My husband said he would have never accepted to go on to a nuclear sub to be a nuclear engineer. He wanted to go work on the jets, on a carrier is what he wanted to do. But his Achilles tendons were way too tight, and they disqualified him from every fleet of the service. But he would have served if he could have. My dad served for 28 years, 10 months, 6 months, 10 days. Right. He knew that, couldn't believe. He was a first-class petty officer. He was actually on one of the one of the carriers when the Gemini 11 came down in the ocean. And he had some stories. He would tell us that. But I can tell you, towards the end of his life, I could play that Navy tune and he could just hum right along with it.
Anchors away.
Anchors away like it was no tomorrow. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Oh, look at that sunset, y'all. See, I'm turning the lighthouse on. I'm turning the lighthouse on for y'all. And you're part of my lighthouse. You're all my beacons. Every solitary one of you. Look at that sunset. Isn't that beautiful? Anybody that wants to go on my channel and give me some watch hours, I will gladly take them. I am so appreciative of. Look at that sunset. Isn't that beautiful? See, sometimes the beauty just needs to be really small. It's just the simple things. Yes, they do. They learn differently. Absolutely. And I had to fight for my daughter every step of the way, and I gladly did. Isn't that beautiful? That is coming through the camera, Mom. We couldn't believe it. It is gorgeous. That sun. I'll let you look at that versus the pond and the farmland. You see a lot of that. Houses with you got ponds out there. That is just beautiful. I know, it's so beautiful. That is beautiful. So are the people in the chat. All beautiful people. But what we do today in today's world, I didn't learn the way everybody else did. I learned best, and my mom can prove this. She used to come in my room, and I used to sit there and I go, she goes, Mary, how in the heck are you learning anything? I'd be blasting music and trying to do math problems. You couldn't figure it out. I'd be sitting there jamming to the music and doing math problems. And how are you learning anything? You should be quiet. Well, that's not how I did it. If I needed to get something done, math, reading, anything, I was having the music on. She could not understand how I could learn anything. Right. You're like, how are you learning anything? And I'm like, it's because I've got the music on. And I did a lot of, if I could have had audiobooks, I'd have done so much better. I'm starting to listen to I'm starting to listen to I'm starting to listen to the Bible via audio and read from my Bible, and I'm absorbing a lot more that way. And if I can't read it, I just listen to it, because for me reading is a struggle, because I'll sit there, if it's more than a paragraph, I'm going to go over it and back over it again, and I get discouraged way too quick, and then I don't want to do it. You're getting to see a little bit of the country side of Mansfield. Rhonda said, I need peace and quiet to learn. No distractions, but my husband is just like you, needs music. Oh, if I'm working, if I'm doing anything, music has to be on. music, audio, going to sleep. I have to have some kind of YouTube channel talking to me. I can't do it any other way. Mischief Anderson, my mom didn't understand me either. Well, I think if we realize that God is the one, those that believe, that God is the one that made us. And I've got people in my life that I don't quite understand. And my daughter and I are connecting on a way with this whole YouTube. And she loves making edits and stuff. And we're connecting in such a really neat way through it. And that's her journey. That's what she loves to do. There's the cows. You see the cows over there? You'll see them in a minute. And she loves She loves doing that kind of stuff. So I'm learning how to connect with her like that. But I think if we remember, God is the one that made each and every one of us. He made us for a plan and a purpose. He has a plan and a purpose for each one of us. If we can go to the foot of the cross and say, God, you made this person. I don't quite understand them. But I'm going to show me how to love them. Show me how to understand them. He will show you. And I figure out you might as well look at the sunset rather than me. Because the sunset coming through this camera is beautiful.
In a little while, it's going to be even more beautiful.
Yeah.
When it gets farther.
Well, it's more vibrant through the camera than it is me looking through that way.
When it gets down by the horizon, it's going to be.
So, I love listening to David Surratt reading the Bible. He's an actor who played pirate. Lovely accent. I will have to check that out. Something does interesting. My rotation drops to 0. Yep. If it doesn't interest me, I don't want to spend my time doing it. One of the people I don't quite understand is me, Kristen. I get it. I don't totally understand me either. Sometimes I wonder. But at the end of the game, God made me. So how did you make me? And one of the things that I've really struggled with throughout my entire life is at times when I feel like I've said the wrong thing or done the wrong thing, or I've had that tape running through my head, nobody wants to be my friend. I sit there going, God, why did you make me this way? Why did you make me this way? Why didn't you make me some other way different? And I have to say, but God made me this way for a reason. He made me this way for a reason. And Kristen, I saw on the light boat, overthinking. That's a great topic to have. I can do it, I think, to some degree, because when I'm puzzled about something, I will go on and 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 on about it. So my mother says, have you talked it out yet? And I'm like, no, because I have to talk out everything. Everything has to be talked out. My encouragement to you is, when you're overthinking, if you can, put on some kind of music, put on something that is not where your brain is necessarily trying to absorb more stuff. Have a playlist that you can play of songs that when you're overthinking, it can break the cycle and say, okay, man, I'm just going to jam out to these songs. You don't have to think, you don't have to listen, or not listen, but you don't have to think, you don't have to absorb anything. You're just having fun. Do something that doesn't involve absorbing more information. Give your mind a rest. Well, if it's the right thing to do, then do it. If you feel like you need to change the way you're going and do a little pay cut in order to have something more rewarding, then go for it. You only live once. And I'll be praying for you. And I know whatever you do, you're going to be awesome at it. You've got your YouTube channel. and drop your link. People haven't gone liked it, go like it. And you know, like today, I've been doing some of her thumbnails for her, and I'm glad to do them. I think I have a little knack for them. I enjoy doing them. And she said, I wish I could get back. And I said, you know what? You're just giving back by being there. You're just giving back to me. Just for being a part of my life. And those that want to know how they can get back to me, just watch my videos and give me some watch hours. That means more than you'll ever know. Change direction. When you're running the hamster wheel, go do something else. Stop. Go do something else. Go take a walk. Go put on some music. You know, another thing to do is they have, and this can be challenging too for someone that is dealing with a special needs child. I know the feeling. There are wonderful, wonderful, just calming tapes on YouTube's with the rain going and the music going. Just, if you can, just sit down. Thank you, Mischief Manage. Yeah, I've got like 400 watch hours, and I need to get to 3,000, and I'm about 140, maybe 135 away from 500. So we're getting there. But just sitting there maybe for like, even if it's just 5 minutes and listening to, you know, the rain and the music and everything can be also a really comforting thing. You know, sometimes when the nerves are hitting, when the nerves are hitting and my mind's just racing, sometimes just turning on that music with the rain coming or the ocean, or just calming music and closing my eyes and making sure that I'm stopping is helpful. I don't want y'all to miss the sunset. It decided to change on us. It's over here now. It's changing directions. And it's such a beautiful sunset.
That guy that was there, he pulled in front of the bus.
There's the school bus. There we go. There's the sunset. So, you know, and there may be some other people that may have some great ideas about how to stop that. But go to just type in YouTube and do nature sounds and just stop thinking for a minute. Say, I'm going to give myself 5 minutes. And our brains as women tend to just always race. We're on to the next thing. We're on to the next thing. And then before we know it, we're on to the next thing. And you got to do this, and you got to do this. And there's a YouTube short I did. I have to see if I can download it. I did it on Facebook. And it was like, us women there was a comedian, but it was so true. It was like, you know, do we ever be quiet? Do we ever stop talking? Do we ever just shut up? No, we're busy on something else. Our mind's always going. And then when you're laying down in the bed, you're going, well, did I do this? Did I get that ready for next morning? Did I do this and do that? And it's always going, you know. And the only reason I brought it up, Kristen, because I thought people in the chat may have some ideas to help you. I saw it in the lifeboat group, and I thought maybe they would have a few suggestions to help you because you're struggling with it. We're not going to struggle in silence. We're going to struggle together. We're going to struggle together, and we're going to survive together, and we're going to help each other together. Not apart, but together. This is such a pretty drive in here. This is Charles Mills Lake is over here. One of these days, I'll take you to the dam, the Charles Mills Dam. This is so pretty here. You know. See, there's parts of here that I look and I think, am I in Ohio or Florida? Because you would see something like this in Florida. In rural Florida, you would see like these trees in with the marsh. you know, with the water. That's what you would see. This would be something you would see in Florida, not in Ohio. That tree is beautiful. There's a purple. There's a purple. I don't know what them trees are, but those are beautiful trees. Probably something my allergies do not like.
Yeah.
But this is beautiful. In the fall, this is just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And there's like a campground out. They'll bring the campground out, but this is beautiful. There's an actual park down in here. But there's the water down there. Yeah, we don't have any alligators. Nope, we don't have any alligators. But isn't that beautiful? I know this isn't my standard stuff, y'all, but and then look over there. Beautiful lake over there. And then over there, this is Charles Mills Lake. It's actually pretty big. I wish I had a dang on boat to go on it. It'd be nice if we could ever rent a boat. But they have campground here. And they have, you know, campers and stuff that park for the season. And then this all out there. They have picnic benches they put in the middle out there. I never saw that before. This is just beautiful. This is really pretty back in here. And then in the fall, when all the fall leaves hit, oh, can't get. I love it. I love it. I said to my mom, "We brought back the heat. She likes the heat. We all like the cold." And I love the cold weather. I love the fall. It's my favorite time of the year. Favorite time. And no, it's not raining. Just turn on the windshield wipers. But, you know, you know, I've got to start just, if you got topics, y'all, that you want me to talk about, people that you want to connect me with, I'm going to do a topic on dementia. We're going to talk about that because I've had experience with that. But there's other topics we can do, and sometimes it's just turning on the lighthouse and just giving you all a place to chit chat and connect. It's that simple. It's powerful. And I'm looking forward to you know, giving back to the lifeboat. I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm glad I'm in a position to do that. I got a lot of people that are behind me and going to be supportive amongst all the other creators that do it, that come on the lifeboat. Realize if they're on this side, they're a little nervous, and that's fine. We all need to support every solitary one that comes on there, because they are, I mean, I have like 365 subs. So if they're coming on the lifeboat, they're coming on a channel with 20,000 subs, and they may be a little nervous, and they may stumble a little bit at first, and that's okay. We just got to be there to say, listen, we're going to come behind you. You're part of the lifeboat family, and we're coming behind you and doing nothing but supporting you. So let's do that. Let's encourage that, because I really think that there's a lot of powerful things that we can get from a lot of things. Oh, Mischief Managed says that cottonwood cottonwood trees. I don't even know if they are what I'm allergic to, but when that white fluffy stuff starts flying around, I get allergy shots. Yep. Like I said, they're beautiful trees, but my allergies probably wouldn't like them. Dementia is, and my dad had it for 7 years, so I have some.
You really had it for more like 9 years.
Yep.
She was
Well,
diagnosed in 2012.
Yeah, she said 9. So it's a good topic, because I think that the caregiver part of it, along with understanding how to deal with it, how to grieve over it. My biggest surprise with it was once he passed away, I was expecting to feel relieved that he was no longer suffering, that he was with the Lord, and he was out of pain. And I actually went back and grieved for the man before the dementia, which was really surprising. That hit me like a ton of bricks. I wasn't expecting that, and that's what I got. And that was surprising for me. So understanding it a little bit, I'd love to have somebody on that maybe is, somebody that's more knowledgeable about it. There's different types of dementia. My dad had Lewy body, so that means that he got stiff, which was hard for us to see, and all those factors in it. And just watching them, you're losing a person daily. It was almost like, oh, they can't do this today. Well, I can't do this. Well, okay, can't do this, can't do this. And
figure out how to get soap out of a pot.
yeah, it was hard. And then you just keep moving on and you keep doing it, but you can't do it without support, that's for sure. And you just do your best. You just love them, and you just do your best and realize that person in there is not the person that you know. And there's sometimes they come back, and there's sometimes they don't. There's moments where I'd have him back. Often when I was putting on Elvis music, I'd have him back for a glimpse of a second, because then he was back. But it can be difficult, and I think that you just do the best to love them, but let's come around the people that are going through it and support them. Support the struggle. Talk to you later. I got to give her a call back. Thank you for hopping on as we were going home. Have a good night. Stay connected. Bye.